Never tell you what to do with your trades or investments, as I am not a financial advisor. Any and all content provided by me contains my own speculative opinion on the market. As such, this content should not be used to make trading or investment decisions. The market is extremely volatile, and the decisions you make should be based on your own due diligence. If you should make a trade or investment decision based off the speculative content that we provide, this disclaimer legally relinquishes me from any and all responsibility. Past market performance is not indicative of future market results. Trading in any market is extremely risky, and you should conduct your own research and analysis prior to making trading or investment decisions. Well. Welcome back. Once again to Blackfire Technical Analysis. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everybody's day is going very swell, or I don't know, maybe y'all are asleep. Who's to tell? I'm having a great week so far, knocking out some studies, continuing on with my technical analysis schooling of my own, and a lot of crazy fun stuff to talk about today in the cryptocurrency market, and we'll definitely get to talking about that here very shortly. I'm still having some technical difficulties. It does seem like from my screen's perspective that I'm having some latency issues lately. I did turn down the quality on the video here, and for some reason I'm still getting this lag, like my upload speed isn't shit, which I don't know what the problem is. All of my programs are closed. Everything is shut down on my PC except for TradingView and the stream. So I'm not really sure what the issue is. If you guys are identifying this latency at any point in time during the stream, just give me a heads up. Let me know if you're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, and I'm doing my best to iron out these technical difficulties still. I'm not the greatest at solving problems at a fast pace when it comes to the live stream, YouTube, computer stuff. I usually typically take my time on that kind of stuff. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop right into this bad boy, starting off with Mr. NASDAQ here. Looking at a nice little bounce off that yellow 21 moving average here. Very nice confluence for support right here, and very nice confluence for a potential higher low formation. We do have that low call on the RSI here. However, this is a little bit concerning, seeing that that bullish divergence here playing out, getting a lot of pressure to the downside as a result. Again, we do see this negative exponential breaching through the bottom side of the bullish control zone here. Again, anytime the exponential is negative on the RSI from a daily perspective, during some kind of downside decline on price action, I am going always to be looking at that negative exponential to be met with heavy resistance as a result. But nonetheless, we do have a low call here. We do have the potential to see more upside price action as long as we see a closure back above that red 10 simple moving average here. If we do meet that condition, if we do see that condition met, I will be extending targets to the upside at a bare minimum. This region here at 14,820, and likely a little higher, all the way back to test the all-time high resistance here. And while price action is looking the way it looks right now on NASDAQ, I do have to bring in the condition of the 1.414. If we do see that region break to the upside, the 2.272 Fibonacci extension level is going to be the next valid target, in my opinion, somewhere around the $16,800 region. That's well and far away. We need to see those conditions met for now. Maybe a little bit of consolidation. We do see volatility is absolutely crushed right now. So the premise for a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of sideways price action is very valid, in my opinion. Again, seeing that yellow 21 hold of support tells me that we have the potential to see price action continue onwards and upwards. However, we did break this resistance here at 14,710. Give or take a few bucks. We did see that resistance break, and we're meeting this region here with rejection against that red 10 simple here. And if we do see a closure below that region, I would not see any reason why a pullback to the yellow 21 wouldn't be out of the question once again, back around the $14,600 region. And cookie cutter obvious. If we close below that yellow 21 moving average here, this is the little bit of a little box here. This is going to be like a major pullback condition for me as far as my perspective is concerned. At the maximum, if we see closures below this low here, 14,550 give or take.
Yeah, something like that. A pullback all the way to the green 55 would be my next, valid target. Where do we see that lining up with? Pretty close to this top call here, right around $14,200. Again, give or take a few bucks. I'm not trying to say all these numbers. I'm just trying to round it up, give you guys a general idea. But we do see that level, that region lining up with the green 55 moving average pretty nicely here. What do we see from a stochastics perspective? Still down, a lot of momentum to the downside. Have we breached that 50 target? No, we have not. We have not breached the 50, so the bullish premise still remains, in my opinion, until we see some kind of major trend reversal signal here. And I do believe the first warning shot fired for NASDAQ on that call here would be below this region here at 14,533. That would be the first warning shot fired. Closure below the green 55 moving average would be the second shot fired. Closure back into this region here, $14,000. This prior all-time high resistance, or support, would be the last warning shot fired before I'd look for a much greater pullback. To new lows, technically, to new lows. But that's well and far away for NASDAQ. I'm not really looking for that right now. I'm actually looking for continuation, to be quite honest with you. But again, there are a couple of concerns on the chart that tell me to tread lightly, tread cautiously here. Again, that RSI, yeah, we have bullish divergence, but it did not react the way I thought it would react. We did see a nice pump up, and this is confirmed as a low. That much is true. However, the RSI did not react accordingly, which tells me that bullish divergence drive was initiated on very, very weak bullish momentum. So it does go to say that the bears potentially have some gas in the tank for this one here. We'll go ahead and move on to SPY futures here. I've been getting a lot of requests for SPY futures. And what do we see here? Same kind of action, bouncing off that green 55, bouncing off the support more definitively. A little bit of expanding volatility, but nothing too sharp and drastic just yet. But we do have a nice. No, we don't. We don't have a low call. No, we actually have a nice bounce off the 50 read here, so that tells me that the bulls are still in control. Yes, I was looking for this to actually breach the 50 read with that breakdown move yesterday below that yellow 21 moving average, but we got that nice bounce off the green 55 and continuation back above the yellow 21 moving average, more or less the same as NASDAQ here. Again, seeing that rejection, seeing a little bit of resistance upon meeting that red 10 simple here, and the conditions are more or less the same for this one as it is for NASDAQ. I want to look for a closure back above that red 10 simple. If we do get a closure back above that red 10 simple, we likely see it call out a low here on the RSI. We do not have that low call here on the RSI, so that goes to bring up a little bit of caution again. We're seeing that nice bounce up, that strong, powerful candle on weak momentum. In my opinion, this is not a strong drive from the RSI. Basically meeting resistance upon hitting that negatively sloped exponential. Close enough is close enough, for me to consider it resistance. We did see a closure above resistance here, so I am looking for this to act as support, similar to NASDAQ. And if we do act as support upon this region, the next target that I'm going to be looking for is right around the 1.272 prior Fibonacci extension target at 43.50, give or take. And if we can surpass that, then why not new all-time highs, right? Why not new all-time highs? But again, I want to see momentum oscillators reacting accordingly. We do have a possibility here of a nice long-term uptrend line from a stochastics perspective here. We do have the room to continue to the downside just at that 50 read here. So that does provide the premise that we could see a little bit more of a bullish reset. Again, these are just possibilities. These are all speculations. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is all me documenting my own findings, not only for my own educational benefit, but for everyone else's as well. I mean, I could be absolutely dead wrong on everything that I'm saying, or, there could be some things that line up pretty well. And for SPY futures, this isn't a low yet. I personally would have called this a low. But the condition for it to be a low were to be 43.20 spot 25. We need to see this candle closure here take out the open of this candle here before that would be confirmed and considered a low. So, the premise is still to the downside. We do see, we still see momentum waning to the downside. So it is, more probable that we see the break of that yellow 21. However, if we do hold it as support, I would be looking for extension to this resistance here around 43.50. However, if we close below that yellow 21 moving average here, the next target I'm going to be looking for is this base here at 42.61 spot 25, and maybe a little bit lower, maybe another stab at that green 55 here, but ultimately a break below this prior all-time high, this breakout point here, is going to be a little bit concerning for my opinion. In my opinion, anything below 42.50 on a daily candle closure basis is going to be a little bit concerning. I'm not trying to get too deep into any hindsight trading today. I want to keep things simple. I want to keep things within the context of the current price action. So that's kind of how I'm looking at SPY futures. We'll go to Dow Jones, probably the same shit. Yep, another bounce back up to the yellow 21 moving average here. We did not see a closure above that region, so that does spell a little bit more concern from my perspective here. Again, seeing that decline to the cyan 89 on yesterday's candle, I did not expect that. I actually was looking at this region here, this support here, as the target that was met and then some, actually exceeding the target that I had identified all the way down to the cyan 89. This is another change of behavior. We did take out this low here at 34,300. We did take that low out, so we do have a daily change of behavior. That much is confirmed. We have a critical signal from stochastics breaching back below the critical zone, back below that 80 read into the bullish control zone. I always take those reads as potential sells here. Major read from my perspective. Looking at the RSI, we actually saw a dip below the 50 read and a nice bounce. The long-term structure to the upside still remains valid. So from a bullish perspective, basically on all of them, we still remain valid long-term bullish. But for the premise of price action right now, I am going to be looking for resistance upon that yellow 21, potentially in the wake for Dow Jones here. We did see technical rejection. Yes, we did take out the green 55. Yes, we took out a resistance that was flipped into new tentative resistance. However, we saw rejection at the yellow 21 moving average here. We did see a little bit of a wick up and a potential to close above it, but it got rejected below. So the pressure to the downside still remains for this one, and for all three of them, technically. A little bit more of a pullback for all of them would not be out of the question. Again, until proven otherwise. But more to the point, on a serious note, that critical read for the stochastics, I take that very seriously. So I am actually biased to the downside a little bit on all three of those. We'll go ahead and look at Dixie here. Oh my. Does that technical analysis work, Brian? I fucking think it does once in a while. Let's take a look. Continuation. Yesterday's candle bouncing off that that blue 377 moving average here. Seeing continuation. We broke this resistance. Now this is a valid target. We actually already met this target, but I'm going to be looking for candles to close closer and closer. And look at this. We have expanding volatility that has crossed that moving average and has forced the moving average on volatility back to a positive slope. Expanding volatility on upside movement tells me that the upside movement is expanding on volatility. We're going to look at the stochastics here. Bounce off the bottom side of the bullish control zone. I mean, we technically stabbed a little bit through it, but it's still technically valid as a bounce off the bottom side of the bullish control zone, seeing continuation all the way back up and barely into the critical zone here from a stochastics perspective. I am going to be looking for continuation. That is a beautiful read. Let's look at the RSI. What does it tell us? Inching closer and closer. Now, is this the breaking point? Is this the point where we see the bottom side of the bullish control zone break and finally hold as support? That definitely is a possibility for the U.S. dollar index. Again, we're seeing all this negative price action in traditional stock markets and in cryptocurrency markets. That is perfectly in confluence with upside momentum on the U.S. dollar index. Anytime I see the U.S. dollar index accumulate any kind of bullish momentum, I am always looking for traditional and crypto markets to be declining, and quite the opposite. Anytime the U.S. dollar index is declining, I'm always going to be looking for the cryptocurrency and traditional markets to be increasing, going up, bull markets, etc., etc. So for now, RSI. Let's that's kind of the next disposition, is I'm going to be looking for that bottom side of the bullish control zone to break and hold as support as momentum carries on. Again, this is kind of the pinnacle for this asset, in my opinion. Before I flip my bias from bearish long term to bullish, potentially long term, I'm at the very least going to be looking for this region here, 93.25, to be taking out on a daily candle closure basis. That would be the premise for a higher low and a higher high structure on price action, and I would immediately go long-term bullish on this asset, as that would confirm an uptrend, and that would be long-term structure to the upside. Again, I've been looking at this for such a long time. The first warning shot for the bulls was that blue 377. The second warning shot was confirmed with a daily candle closure above it yesterday, breaching this resistance at 92.95. Or 92.92. We got that condition met, and now we're seeing continuation. Technically back testing it a little bit. We do see a little bit of a wick. That is close enough to confirm this as support before seeing continuation. We got the continuation. I'm looking for more. I'm actually looking for this region here as the next target, and if we do, now's the time. Now's the time we can look at upside targets for this one. Now is the correct time. We're gonna go ahead and get some targets underlined here. Boom, there's a nice valid target. If we do see candle closures above this region here at 93.25, I will be looking for continuation all the way up to this region here at 93.80, give or take a few cents. That would be the next valid target, but likely much further long term, to be quite honest with you. We do see these moving averages starting to really take lift, and we do see a little bit of a golden cross here. What the fuck? We see a little bit of a golden cross here. Seeing that green 55 cross that purple 200 exponential here. A nice read. When's the last time we got a golden cross? See, this pump up to this region here didn't even initiate a golden cross. Last time we saw a golden cross in this market, right here. This was the last time we saw a golden cross in this market, back on the 3rd of February 2020 is the last time we got a golden cross. Yeah, we nearly saw. Oh, excuse me. Drink all that water. Got the hiccups. We nearly saw this initiate a death cross here, but that was quickly averted with a nice massive pump to the upside here, and then we got that death cross here, right 14th of June in 2020, and that's right around the time where cryptocurrency really started ripping to the upside, and we've seen the results of that death cross play out very nicely to the downside, initiating that very long-term downtrend bear market. It's not in my opinion, that's a fucking fact. I can show you plenty of indicators that confirms this as a bear market, and plenty of indicators that would tell you that this is a bear market until proven otherwise, and we have yet to be proven otherwise. But we are definitely nearing that time, ladies and gentlemen. We are nearing that time. This is the prior top that I've been looking at here, and this is the only condition that I will need to see being met before I switch to a bullish perspective. So that's kind of it. Unless we see some kind of top here and reversal to the downside, I'm not really looking for any kind of downside targets. Momentum oscillators are pointing up. Everything is pointing up, including volatility with the expansion of price action to the upside. However, let's talk about a couple of conditions to be looking out for. Any closure below this region, I'm going to be looking for the blue 377 as the next downside target. A little bit of a pullback would not be out of the question. See a little bit of a higher low. We haven't printed a low since this region here, back on the 8th of July. We're only what, 2 weeks past that? 10 days. We're only 10 days past that, so we don't necessarily have to look for a pullback, but just to stay on the safe side, err on the side of caution. Pullback targets are the blue 377 first and foremost, which is perfectly aligned with this top here. I don't know why that wasn't called as a top, but nonetheless, it's still there. This would actually be more of a legitimized target right here for a pullback. 92.70 would be kind of a good guess for a pullback target for this asset if a pullback were to be initiated here, and looking for potential higher lows. But this isn't extremely overextended just yet, in my opinion. I still think we see price action continue up into this point and potentially past that point, and we have underlying targets to pay attention to if that condition is met. So that's Dixie. Let's go on to my motherfucking badass Bitcoin here. Really fucking with my emotions. And you see, this is partially something I'm still struggling with, right? I took the aggressive approach, right? I stayed with the same risk management. I took a little more risk on the position that I opened today than I'm normally comfortable with. However, 420. That's my risk. 4.20%. A beautiful number, right? 420. That's the risk that I took. 4%. Not a bad not a bad risk there. And Bitcoin playing with my emotions. I really contemplated, hey, should I wait for a test of the resistance before I open the position? Yes, technically I could have opened a position on this top wick here. I actually opened up my TradingView app when I came home before I started the stream, and basically this whole candle was filled. Very, very, very close to hit my stop loss on this position, and I am looking at this position to be a little bit more longer term. However, I do believe that this region here will act as resistance right around 30,500. This condition is met. That condition has been met. We printed new lows, and we broke the last hopium region for the bullish perspective, in my opinion. We likely see some price action to the upside, but I do believe the bots and algorithms are going to start taking over, and this is, in my opinion, going to act heavily as resistance. We do see price action currently above it, but I do not think that that's going to last very fucking long. We do see downside price action on what? Expanding volatility. What else do we see? We do see a little bit of a potential cross up from a stochastics. However, we are still deep within that critical zone, so the bears have control. What do we see on RSI? A nice little bounce off the top side of the bearish control zone. I'm going to be looking at that negative exponential to be met with resistance. Again, I'm still looking for that. I'm still looking for this region to get broken into. People, bots and algorithms that are buying, I really think it's a lost cause at this point to be buying up. There's, in my opinion, no more bullish perspective for the long term on this asset. And I'm going to give you a couple of indications on why. Let's go ahead and eliminate this. Something I learned here today. I'm going to bring up a different indicator. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I might make a instructional video on this one here. This is the long-term macro cycle trend analysis indicator, and basically we got three simple moving averages and 3 exponential moving averages. I do believe the simples are the 10 simple, the 30 simple, the 50 simple, while the exponentials are the 21, the 55, and the 200 exponential. And we're gonna go ahead and get to a little bit of a different chart here to give you guys an idea of what this indicator tells me here, right? It tells me whether the market is bearish or it's bullish. Quite simple. Very, very, very simple stuff here, right? And typically what we're looking for is obviously the lower periods, the 10, the 10, the 30, and the 50 to be trading above the higher periods, the 55, the 21, the 55, and the 200. We're looking for lower periods to trade above the higher period, and most importantly, all of those lower periods trading above the 200 moving average. And what do we got here, right? Here's your indication of a bear market. All of those moving averages cross below the 200 exponential, and then boom, nice little low. And then what do you get? All those moving averages cross above the 200 exponential, and then eventually we see all of the lower periods trading above all the higher periods, and the bull market ensues, right? And the last time we got a bear market, this is what we got. A legitimate bear market here in the 2017-2018 bear market here. We fully and officially saw all those moving averages cross below the 200 right here. And what happens? Down, 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 down. Bear market ensued. I do believe we are in a long-term bear market. I do not believe that we're going to be seeing any of this. This here, in my opinion, is just a black swan event, right? If Corona didn't happen, I do believe that price action would have just continued onwards and upwards to those all-time highs without seeing that coronavirus dump. Coronavirus dump obviously being a very, very, very beautiful opportunity to buy in, and we saw a bull market ensue very, very, very powerfully. Up until this point here, we have all those moving averages crossing below the 200. That death cross is gaining divergence, very much so. We see all these moving averages here, pumping a little bit of gas here on that downside momentum. This isn't me being opinionated on a bear market. This is a bear market being fucking confirmed. And anyone that says otherwise, it's not a bear market, fucking wrong, buddy. Sorry, I hate to tell you that. really hate to shit on your parade, but you can put a pile of garbage in one hand and your hopes and dreams in the other, and then squeeze them and tell me which one feels more realistic. Realistic. Here's the realism. We're in a bear market. That much is confirmed. We did not see any upside continuation after that decline. Consolidation to the downside. Break of a very, very critical level, in my opinion. We'll go back to my chart here. Bring up the normal moving averages. Very, very, very critical, right? Very, very, very critical, in my opinion, seeing that level break, right? And kind of another point of confluence here. VPVR, obviously, I've been mentioning this for quite some time. And here's your last hope level, right? Here's your last hope level. Look at how low value that node is, right? That node is a very, very, very low value node. I do believe the floodgates are going to open all the way down to the next tentative target, in my opinion. And what is that target telling us? Next target to the downside that I'm looking for is this region right here, 26,500. That is going to be my next target to the downside. Obviously, we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 days of price action ever at that level, which tells me that this level is likely to be very, 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 very weak. This all ties in together with that one 6-month analysis that we were talking about on the stream the other day here, looking at the box territories, pullbacks all the way to initiate bear markets to the red 10 simple moving average here. Here's your first box, red 10 simple. I mean, you can pretty much line it up. Second box here, pulled back all the way to the red 10 simple. Third box here could easily pull all the way back to the red 10 simple, somewhere around the $15,000, $14,000 range. And that's not to say that we couldn't potentially see extreme capitulation, even lower, maybe even to the $9,000 region. Again, from a wick basis, a little wick from a 6-month perspective, not out of the realm of possibilities here. Kind of paying attention to how this 6-month is gonna start playing out. But from my perspective, most importantly, what I'm looking at is the daily here, and we got to break at that critical level. I took a trade, a little bit more of an aggressive trade. Obviously, I should have waited till we saw that pullback into the resistance here. Again, I do believe this will act as tentative resistance for the foreseeable future. I do believe the next target to the downside is going to be this region over the next week, 2 weeks, especially we're seeing volatility expand. We're seeing volume increase on that downside. Red candle here breaching that critical level that is above average volume in the perspective of the volume overall. We see the moving average here for volume. We saw the volume pierce that moving average here on this break of that critical level today. I take that trade very seriously, right? I see all these points of confluence lining up with each other. I see all the negative downside pressure lining up with each other. I take the trade. I took the trade. Maybe I should have waited a little bit. Oh well. It is what it is. But for now, that's kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin. I do not see any potential recovery possibilities. However, I will underlie those conditions. Any break above this resistance at $30,500, I'll look for an extension all the way to this region, right perfectly aligned with that red 10 simple at $31,500. But again, that's not going to be bullish. I'm not going to be looking for anything long-term bullish until proven otherwise. To be proven otherwise, for any of you that want to be bullish on this, this here is the area that we need to take out. 36,000. We need to see just a rip back above 36,000 before I'm convinced of any kind of bullish momentum long term. For now, I am convinced that we are in a bearish market for this asset on the long term. And that ties in with plenty of other cryptocurrencies here. We'll go ahead and take a look at Ethereum real quick, if I can fucking find it. There it is. Yeah, same kind of action. New low printed here. Nice little recovery. We do have a low call on this one. But very, very likely not a strong low in my opinion. Again, we likely see downside continuation for Bitcoin. We likely see downside continuation for altcoins. We likely see this being the bear market. Welcome to the bear market. More confirmation that this is looking rather dire for the bulls. I don't think the bulls have any balls in their court anymore. I do believe price action is looking for some dumpy action, and that's kind of where I'm going to leave Bitcoin for now. We'll definitely come back to this in tomorrow's stream, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out, win or lose. If I get stomped out of my position tomorrow, if we see a low call, pull back up to this region here at 31,750, oh well. I mitigated my risk. I kept my risk small, and I'll be waiting for the next position to take. But for now, I took the position. I'm looking for some decline here on Bitcoin. I think it's time for some requests here. I only got 3 tonight. So Corey says AMC. He wants AMC. I want AMC as well. Nice little pump up in price action today. It's pretty nice to see. Time frame short. 4 hour. Oh, he wants to look at the 4 hour. 4 hour looks very similar to 24 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour. So for the 4 hour, I'm not going to be using moving averages. They're not as relevant to me, in my opinion. They're not as relevant to me, in my opinion, but we do see a little bit of a double bottom here. Boom, boom. Nice little pump action to the price action to the upside here. Do you see a little bit of test of resistance here, or is that confirmed broken? What is this low? 42.86. Yeah, I mean, we technically broke resistance here. We technically broke resistance upon this region here. So extension at the bare minimum to the 48.50 region on a 4 hour. Would not be out of the question. We do see 4 hour stochastics really climbing up here, looking like it wants to achieve new highs here. Maybe we're looking at that bullish reset. Maybe. That would be nice. That would be nice to see this pump all the way back up to this region here. We do have a little bit of a 4 hour resistance right upon this region here that I want to see taken out on the shorter term time frames. If we do see 4 hour take this region out, my next target to the upside would be this low here. 53.75 would be the next target to the upside. Again, this is all on a 4 hour here. I prefer the daily. My 4 hour analysis might not be that accurate. However, with the way price action is moving right now, could be a potential reversal. This here is a reversal point, in my opinion. Any closure, even on the daily above this region here, 48.75, basically lies out the terms for potential reversal. I want to look at the 24 hour to get a better understanding. Yeah, that resistance lines up very well, but we do not have a actual top call on the daily for this region here. That's only on the 4 hour. So on the daily, that's not relevant. Technically, the extension target as of now is 53.50. Seeing that resistance break on a daily time frame, we do see RSI holding that long-term uptrend structure very, very beautifully. Nice critical read here. Again, these are the kind of reads that we're looking for. This is a critical read. Nice pump action above moving averages. Oh, let's look at the moving averages. What do we got on the moving averages? What? What do we got on the moving averages? Back above the green 55, back above the red 10 simple, testing the yellow 21, right. Bullish divergence, carrying that RSI long-term uptrend low. Continuation is the most likely outcome, in my opinion, for this one. Continuation to this region here, right around 53.52. Stochastics giving nice generous read here, but I want to see that momentum on the exponential carry to the upside, and I want to see the bottom side of this zone being breached. Stochastics obviously irrelevant as far as the long-term uptrend structure is concerned. That was broken, but RSI, I might put a little bit more weight on the RSI than I will the stochastics for this one. So yeah. Unless we see a full-blown reversal back down to this region here or lower, I'm not going to be looking for any top calls, but if we do reverse back below this region here, I'm going to be looking for a top call. And if we do get a top call, that will be another lower high in the sleuth of lower highs that we've seen. This is a downtrend. It is confirmed as a downtrend. We got our blow off top here, and then a little bit of a high, and then lower high, and then maybe a third lower high. Maybe not. Just, focus on those levels. Focus on the low. This is a low call. It is confirmed. We did break resistance, so I have to go on the side of continuation for this one. And that's where I'm going to leave AMC. ISR, medium time frame. That's the daily. Looking for basics like trend up or down with a couple of levels to look for. Let's look at ISR then. ISO ray fucking down, bitch. Fucking down. This is a downtrend. Definitely a downtrend. That much is very valid. Holy garbage. We got a lower low. I'm looking lower, to be quite honest with you. We got an open a gap up above this resistance at 71 cents, right? But we rejected the red 10 simple. So that puts into premise that we see potential price action to the downside. This breach of RSI back above the critical zone, or excuse me, not the critical zone, above the top side of the bearish control zone, does not change my perspective from bearish to bullish. We still have the possibility to put in yet another lower high on RSI, and we see how much control this bearish neutral zone has on the RSI. Again, just because we're in the neutral zone does not necessarily make it neutral, right? It's in the lower neutral range here, which tells me that it's bearish overall. And you know, lower low until we get a change of behavior. Currently, the change of behavior level, this region here. I'm not going to be looking for any kind of significant bullish momentum until we take out 77 cents at a minimum, and that would coincide with price action taking out 2 moving averages and printing a new high. Death cross, very much confirmed. It's been confirmed since here, the 16th of June, and that death cross is continuing to play out to the downside. Momentum is to the downside. All these moving averages have a lot of gas to the downside on them. We're seeing supports break and act as resistance. We saw this region break and then bounce above, but that does not mean that the red 10 simple won't force it to the downside. As of now, these are the targets that I would be looking for. This is the only thing that would convince me of bullish price action. 77.5 cents or 70 cents, 77 3/4 of a cent. 77.75 cents is what I would look for. Any closure above that region, then yes, the next target to the upside would be this region right here at 83.5 cents. 83.5 cents would be the next target, again, if that condition is met. And I don't think we're near that condition right now. Actually, what I'm aiming more towards is a potential test of this region here at 75.5 cents, at which point I am likely to be looking for heavy resistance. Again, this is a downtrend until proven otherwise. Maybe this acts as a macro low, but with the way this one's performing right now, this is looking nasty. That's just like a triangle, like just a death. Long term though, you know, low, higher low, potential higher low. Long term, yeah, this could definitely prove to be a higher low, but I want to see confluence. I want to see price action, come to the upside and continue onwards and upwards to validate that as a low. For now, I'm on lower high watch with this one. Any closure below this region here at 71 cents, maybe 71.5. 71.30 cents. I'm going to be looking for a greater pullback to this region once again at 64 cents. We already got that target met once. Would not be out of the question to see that target met again. Stochastics deep in the bearish critical zone. It has been bearish for quite some time here. Seeing this just, this knife to the upside, rejection, knife to the downside, bearish control. Not a good, healthy read, in my opinion, from a bullish perspective. Yeah, we got a nice up 7% here, but I do believe that's just a little bit of a pity bounce. Again, until proven otherwise, we want to see confluence and proof otherwise. While I may be bearishly biased on this asset for now, I could be proven otherwise, at which point I would have to look for continuation to the upside. But for now, I'm going to be looking for a lower high. Especially against this red 10 simple that got rejected pretty swiftly today, and looking for continuation back below this support here at 71 cents. And if we get that condition to be met, this likely isn't going to be the first stop for this asset. And that's where I'm going to leave it for ISR. We'll go ahead. Piton, medium to long, looking for basic TA to see if it's good hold for long term. I need to see more. Thanks for all the hard work, man. Thank you for your appreciation. I vastly appreciate it, man. That's the kind of stuff that keeps me going, one or two people saying, that's fucking awesome, man. Thanks, dude. That's all I need, man, to really just get on here and pump out this beautiful content that I love to provide for the group. I love giving you guys this, this free analysis. And I don't see anything changing in the near future with that aspect. I want to keep providing you guys with content. I want to keep helping you guys identify opportunities in the same way that I identify opportunities. So that compliment is extremely, extremely appreciated, man. That makes me feel really great. Thank you. So we'll go ahead and knock this last one out. A little bit of a shorter stream tonight, but 40 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Piton, he wants to see medium term and long term. Peloton Interactive. hitting that resistance. I do think continuation is the call. I do think continuation is the call for this one. And why do I say that? A nice macro low here with a bullish divergence call. And this is what I want to see in momentum, right? I want to see momentum. Right, that's a big move from an RSI perspective. One move forcing the RSI exponential back to a positive slope, breaching that critical read. I'm looking for a buy. I'm looking for a buy. We do have a spinning top. There is a little bit of air of caution here, but the way momentum oscillators are pointing right now, this looks like a continuation call, in my opinion. If we get a close above this region here, we'll have new highs confirmed. About 123.35. Any closure above that region, I'll be looking for continuation all the way up to this region here at 140 bucks, give or take a few bucks, maybe a buck. That would be my next target to the upside. From the medium term perspective, seeing this movement to the upside on higher than average volume, there is agreement in the market, in my opinion. That much is confirmed. RSI again. That's beautiful. RSI looks beautiful. Stochastics looks potentially beautiful. Again, I want to see that exponential being, forced back to a positive slope here. That's just another way of saying, hey, the momentum is real. Again, and that would all be in confluence with a breach of the 127.10 region. I think it happens, but if it doesn't happen, maybe a slight pullback, print a higher low. Any closure below this region here, and the next level to be really concerned about is the $113 region. I would look for a pullback to that region, and that would be a little concerning for the medium term. Long term, yeah. Long term says continuation. If the weekly closes like this or higher, especially above this red line here, above this red horizontal, I'm going to be looking for long term continuation, potentially new all time highs here for this asset. Looking very juicy. That's your macro low. That's your macro low right here. If you wanted to draw a diagonal, there it is. It's very, very, very much valid in my opinion until proven otherwise, and we can see how much confluence it has with the critical levels that we're looking at. Again, taking out this region here, 108.50 would coincide with a break below this diagonal, and that would not be a good read in my opinion. But we're seeing price action holding above this region. We actually have the birth of a weekly Cyan 89 for what, a few weeks, couple months? Yeah, a couple months. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Long term, I think continuation. Short term, I think continuation. So I think that's where I'm going to leave Pete on. I think that's where I'm going to wrap up the analysis, guys. Thank you for being here. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. I do have a couple of instructional videos. I did release an instructional video. If you guys missed it, I released an instructional video on one of the easiest strategies that I've ever seen in my fucking life. Please check it out. It's called the 21 exponential moving average strategy. Very simple, very to the point, and statistically proven to be more profitable than not. So take a look at it. And again, if you guys like the videos, hit that like button. We need some visibility on YouTube. We need that YouTube algorithm to give us a little bit more visibility. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. Thank you so much for you guys' appreciation and support. I love that everyone that's here is here. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep getting that bread. Let's keep making that dough. And until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay